This is a harbinger of what we can expect. Now, I've talked about the potential violence in this country after the November election. And as far as I'm concerned, it's no longer speculation. It's no longer theory. It's no longer a concern or a worry. It is a reality that's staring us in the face if Trump wins the election or if Trump loses the election. It doesn't matter which. However, if he loses the election, this country all of a sudden is going to see these filthy goddamn termites, these Christian devils, come bubbling up out of the woodwork to start committing acts of terror in this country because their dear leader will have been legitimately defeated. If he wins the election, this orange son of a bitch, he will immediately declare a martial law or some form thereof, so that any resistance to his quasi-Christian dictatorship, any resistance will be immediately smashed. So either way, and I hope that all of us are prepared for it in whatever manner we think is necessary as far as preparation is concerned. And in saying these things, and making what is essentially to me an expectation. It's not a prediction. It's just an expectation. I really believe, because given what this filthy Nazi fuck has been saying for the past 4, 5, 6 years, this Trump bastard, what he's been saying, and the way his sickness has penetrated into the minds of so many American people, well, you don't have to have a crystal ball or to be part of California's psychics. Oh, God, I hate those people. I hate their commercials anyway. To understand when someone, in this case, moi, says there will be blood. There is no question. It's not a prediction. It's an expectation and an observation based on what has tumbled out of this orange Nazi's mouth for years now. But here's the story I'm trying to get to. A man in central Illinois was arrested. He was stopped. It was a traffic stop, another one. And they found pipe bombs and a pistol under his seat during this traffic stop. This is in Pekin, Illinois. And the police officer pulled this car over May 17th for a traffic violation. And the cops spotted a canvas bag locked with a padlock under the passenger seat where this creep fuck was sitting. The guy's name is Dalton Matus. Inside, police found a .45 caliber pistol, 2 homemade pipe bombs, after obtaining a warrant to search the bag. Now, this was reported by Rolling Stone and also by Raw Story. This guy, Matus, is 34 years old. He had refused to let police search the bag without a warrant, so they got a warrant and opened the bag at City Hall. And once they saw the IED, City Hall was immediately evacuated. And the thing is, this country is full of these fuckers, like this Matus nutcase. So police went to his home, where they engaged in a brief standoff with him before he was arrested and charged with being a felon, of course, all these fuckers are, in possession of a weapon. And officers said they found 3 more pipe bombs in various stages of construction in his house. And a local radio station in Illinois reported that this creep, this Matus thug, told police that he made the bombs because he felt he needed protection from what he called, quote, undocumented immigrants and a corrupt government, end quote. This is what I mean about how this disease that is Trump is a walking fucking disease. And he spreads his poison. All you have to do is be within 10 feet of this scum bastard, and the poison infiltrates your brain. And that's what happened. And here's another case of 34-year-old Dalton Matus. After saying that, Rolling Stone analyzed more than 200 of his social media posts dating back to 2016. And they found that he had been sucked into these Christo-fascist conspiracy theories starting around June of 2020. And in an April 2023 TikTok video, this crazy fucker said, quote, "Anybody that is disgusted with the way our government is being ran, there needs to be like a call to arms. Something needs to happen now." Oh, man, oh, man. These people are, well, like I say, come November 5th, there is going to be some terrible, terrible things happen in this country. Now, according to everything that the cops found and analyzed in by Rolling Stone, this creep fuck was interested in conspiracy theories involving QAnon. Of course. The spokesbitch for QAnon is Marjorie Taylor Greene, who lives not too far from the Daniel Scapin studio here in the foothills of the North Georgia mountains. But also, he was fascinated by the lies put out there about the election by Trump and his filth, and all these anti-government conspiracies that just, like the COVID-19 vaccine had a microchip in it. And everybody was going to be microchipped. I mean, these people are just so goddamn insane. And with the internet and social media, this crap, this bullshit gets spread faster than the speed of light. Anyway, this Mattis repeatedly shared his willingness to engage in civil war. And in March of last year, he changed his profile picture to an upside-down American flag. Yes, like the one that Sammy the Fish Alito flew in front of his house after the January 6th attempt to overthrow the government. And this creep bastard wrote on Facebook shortly after the 2020 election, when the results were announced, this guy wrote, quote, "I am completely disgusted that people voted for Joe Biden to be the president. I am fucking irate. This is complete and utter bullshit. I'm ready for the fucking civil war." End quote. Man. Now, I know this is just one individual, so why get all worked up about what he has written, what was discovered in his car and in his home? Because he is one of millions. You know this as well as I do. Now, this guy happens to be a welder. He has felony and misdemeanor convictions for theft, criminal trespass, domestic battery. There it is again, you fucker. What'd you do, beat up your wife and your kids? And damage to property. He has been the subject of a restraining order. And he complained online about having his children taken away by family with the help of Child Protective Services. Yeah, this dirty bastard wanted to keep the kids in the house where he could continue to beat them. So he wrote on Facebook last December, quote, "Now my children are pumped full of vaccines that they don't even need. And for what reason but to poison them?" Doesn't make sense. "I was a monster before my children were born. And now that I don't get to see them anymore, you will see the fucking devil." End quote. Very, very sane kind of comment to put on your Facebook page, right? You will see the fucking devil. The cops in Pekin, Illinois said that this psychotic prick would probably face additional charges related to the explosive devices. And he's still in jail until a court hearing scheduled for June 20th. This is the kind of person, I should say, that Trump inspires to violence. Usually they have a police record, an arrest record, a conviction record, or all three, even up to and including the well-educated in his coterie of sycophants. Look at some of these lawyers who have now been charged with felonies. Look at some of them who've been convicted or have pled guilty. The only type of people that a fascist wannabe dictator attracts are people who are so weak-minded that they are so easily manipulable, or criminals who understand the criminal mindset because they are one and want to continue to operate in a criminal way without the force of the law to stop them. And that's what they see in Trump, a lawless son of a bitch who will go out of his way to allow people who support him politically to do anything they want to do. Just look at the way he calls people duly convicted of attempting to overthrow the government. He calls them hostages, the ones who are in prison. I cannot fully explain. Well, no, that's the wrong word. I can't fully share my horrendous contempt for Donald Jesus Trump. I have never been exposed to a political figure in this country that evokes that kind of response from me. Political figures in other countries, sure. Some of the fascist bastards that have arisen in these other countries. But, like you, probably, I never thought it would happen here. Right? I mean, I knew, just like Rachel Maddow has tried to point out to us, how fascism has only been a silly centimeter below the surface, the political surface in this country. It's always been there. Ever since the goddamn beginning, before this country was a country. But it had a moment of almost success in the 1930s in the lead up to the bloody war against international fascism. But it was never completely defeated in this country. It may have been utterly destroyed in Germany, Italy, and Japan. Well, not quite utterly destroyed in Italy. It may have been utterly destroyed in Spain and Portugal. But it's here. It's in the United States. And it's going to have an awful effect. It's having an awful effect. But it's going to be even worse come November 5th.
Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. You know, the Progressive Voices Network brings you commercial-free commentary from today's leading progressive radio hosts and pundits, like me, Mike Malloy, 24 hours a day. I'm not your typical old guy from the 80s or the 90s talk radio host, and Progressive Voices is not your typical talk radio network. It's a listener-supported nonprofit with no corporate control whatsoever over our broadcast. So hosts like me, Mike Malloy, are free to rant and scream and carry on about whatever we like. We're often controversial, but we're never boring. Weeknights, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West on the Progressive Voices Network. Always progressive, always on. I'm Mike Malloy. Keep it lit.